That was a little moment of silence for the man known as Stan Lee. Yes, today on the RM podcast, we're going to have a little bit of a different format going for the RM podcast. We have lost such a big legend, such an icon in the world of comics, and today here at Retromania for the RM podcast, we will be remembering Stan Lee. Stan Lee, born on 1922 and started working as a writer and publisher for Marvel Comics at the age of 17 in 1940, and he retired that role in 2010. But during his time being at Marvel, he went from being a writer to publisher to chief executive of Marvel Comics, and the guy who green lights the new comics, new ideas, new characters, new things for Marvel Comics. Stan Lee is a larger than life guy. He's not even a human being. In our eyes, in the world of comics, he is larger than comics itself. He's larger than the characters he has created. He is the quintessential meaning of comics. When you think of comic books, you think Stan Lee. Yes, you think of characters as well, but when you're thinking of one person, you think Stan Lee. Now, I'm going to go through a list of some of the characters he has created throughout his time, like some of his more notable characters. We got Spider-Man, which he co-created with Steve Ditko. Then here are some of the characters within the Spider-Man universe he created. J. Jonah Jameson, the Sinister Six, which means every member of the Sinister Six, Norman Osborn, Harry Osborn, Gwen Stacy, Mary Jane Watson, and Captain Stacy. These are his bigger creations out of the Spider-Man universe. He has created the X-Men, co-created with Jack Kirby, and we're talking the original 5 X-Men, not the new X-Men that came out later, the original 5 X-Men, and then later on he has created Juggernaut, Scarlet Witch, and Quicksilver. Now some people might be thinking here, he created everything from the X-Men. No, only the original 5 X-Men. Then we go to Fantastic Four. He is co-created with Jack Kirby, and then some of his more notable characters: Doctor Doom, Silver Surfer, Galactus. Then we have the Incredible Hulk, and we have Daredevil, co-created with Bill Everett. And then we have Owl, which is a very notable character in the Daredevil universe. Iron Man, co-created with Jack Kirby. And then notable characters within the Iron Man universe: Pepper Potts, Jarvis, Happy Hogan. Then you have Thor, co-created with Jack Kirby. Doctor Strange, co-created with Steve Ditko. And then some notable characters from Doctor Strange: Mephisto and Enchantress. You have Black Panther, co-created with Kirby. Then some more notable characters: Medusa, Crank, Lockjaw, Gorgon. Then you have Ant-Man, Wasp, Man-Thing, Falcon, Captain Marvel, the Collector, Adam Warlock, Peggy Carter, Wonder Man, Groot, Nick Fury, Fin Fang Foom. There are so many different characters that Stan Lee has created, but these are some of his more notable characters. And then also, he was a very proud and married man, and his wife, Joanne B. Lee. Now he is reunited with his wife, and man, this is just so hard to even just talk about. The world of comics has lost a great living legend.
You must answer the question.
Excuse me, I'm looking for some guy named Stan Lee.
What? Spider-Man? Pam, hold my calls for a while. I think I've finally gone crazy. You know, Spidey, I've always wanted to experience real web-slinging.
And I've always wanted to be appreciated as a real hero. It seems you've made me into one. Thanks.
Hey. You, looking at that couple inside?
Actually, I was just looking at this little pink number over here.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of nice. They look happy, don't they? You know, it reminds me of an issue of Spider-Man I did when Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy went lingerie shopping. Of course, the Green Goblin showed up, and he pumpkin bombed the hell out of the place. But aside from that, it's pretty much the same thing.
Oh my God! Holy shit! Aren't you?
Oh, Stanley. Hi.
This week's UN summit. With the leaders of over 200 nations attending, the Secret Service has transformed Ellis Island.
Hey, Murdoch!
As far as I'm concerned, security ought to be... Good morning, Dr. Krensler. Security ought to be beefed up a lot more in a place like this. Welcome back to the Baxter, Dr. Richards. I've got the usual for you. Good to have you back, sir.
Thanks, Willie.
You know, I guess one person can make a difference. Enough said.
Invitation, sir.
I should be on that list.
Name?
Stanley.
Yeah, nice try, buddy.
No,
Nice
no,
try.
really,
Nice
I'm
try.
Stanley.
Hey, Tony. Remember me?
Sure don't. Look great, Hef.
Possible gamma sickness. Milwaukee. A man drank one of those Guarana sodas. Guess it had a little more kick than he was looking for.
Wow.
Where was it bottled?
Porto Verde.
Larry. Hey, the Oracle of Oracle. What a pleasure. Nice to see you.
Larry King.
Larry! Oh.
Did it work?
Captain, that's your cue.
I thought he'd be taller. Superheroes in New York? Give me a break.
This is probably nothing.
Are your pulses pounding? Can you feel its eyes upon you? The dweller in the dark is watching.
Relax, Harry. It's just Stan.
And all the other worlds would just pass us by. It's beautiful. It's simple. Any questions?
Yeah, can I have my shoe back?
All Mom ever wanted was your love. To be with you at our two-story Victorian home in the Cotswolds. But could you even give her a moment? What with your banking job requiring you to travel to the States from Tuesday to Saturday every other week? No!
I'm terribly sorry about your loss, dear. As for you, now is your chance to do better. Why don't you see that you take it?
Thank you, sir.
Let's go.
Wear that?
No. If you're gonna fight a war, you gotta wear a uniform.
Oh, man. I am so fired.
Cool. It's not cool to get help. Walk by yourself, you little gargoyle. Look at Mr. Smiles over here. You like orange. Where's your wife, old man? What a Class A prevert.
Fred. Son.
Dad. I wear 'em front. I wear 'em back. I go inside out. Then I go front and back.
Dad!
Alexis Ortiz. Mo Parisi. Peter Parker.
I think I know that guy.
Oh, no. See, this was aged for 1,000 years. The barrels built from the wreck of Grunhill's fleet is not meant for mortal men.
Neither was Omaha Beach, Blondie. Stop trying to scare us. Come on.
All right.
Excelsior. Hey, could I borrow the sports section? Thank you.
Fine, right? The bartenders are all like, yeah, crazy stupid fine.
Coming onto our stage right now. Give it up for Chastity.
You okay?
Are you Tony Stank?
Yes, this is Tony Stank.
That is hilarious.
Okay.
Wow, nice suit.
Zip it, Stanley!
Oh, man. Anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted, at that time, I was a Federal Express man.
Hey, fellas. Hey, wait, where are you going? Hey, you were supposed to be my lift home. How'll I get out of here? Hey, gee, I've got so many more stories to tell. Guys. Oh, gee.
They're the greatest stories ever told. Heroes show us we don't need to be perfect to do what's right. It's not about living without fear, but facing injustice. It's not about being powerful, but finding your calling when you least expect it. They show us it's okay to be vulnerable, no matter how tough you are. Because even though they're heroes, they're still human.
What the hell are you doing? Every day with these damn alarms. Shut it off.
Don't make me come down there, you punk.
Hey, Gary. How you doing?
Marjorie, how are you? How's your mother?
Stan Lee touched all of us. He touched all our hearts. With the works of his comic books right here, he's done it all. He's touched every single one of us. Like, whatever character you loved that Stan created, he made sure somebody out there had a connection with that character. And with each character that he created, he created throughout his life. Like, throughout things he's done in his life, or throughout things that have come and gone in his life, or things he wish he's done in his life. And we all know that one character that we can relate to. And besides his characters that he's created, they have gone to be a multi-billion-dollar characters through the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and Disney. Now look at this. With each MCU film, Stan Lee has to make a cameo. From the day that the Incredible Hulk TV show was around, 1989, till Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Stan Lee not only was a man of comics, but a man of film industry. And no matter what you watched, he made that cameo special. Not only as a comic fan, but as a moviegoer or somebody who just knows the name Stan Lee or the face of Stan Lee. Stan Lee was the man, always will be the man, always a living legend no matter where you go, and no matter what generation you're from, you always knew Stan Lee. Whether you were around in the golden age era of comics when he first started, or whether you were around during his big break, during the Silver Age era when all these characters were coming to life, or even the Bronze Age when it became the height of his career, or even if you're from right now from the films, you know him from watching all the MCU films. It doesn't matter. Stan Lee affected you some way, somehow, as a nerd. And I'll end it off with this. With great power comes great responsibilities, and no man had a greater power and greater responsibilities than Stan Lee. And Stan will be dearly missed from all of us here at Retromania. Excelsior!
It is such fun creating characters, writing stories, even doing interviews, even though I can't hear most of what the guy says to me. And when you do something that you know the fans seem to enjoy, that gives you such satisfaction, you don't want to stop.